This is the Committee on Parole that is meeting now. It's October the 21st, 2025. With us on Zoom is Jerry Ledoux, who is one of the board members, and she's going to be on Zoom with us throughout the morning. Chuck Tillis is to my left, and my name is Steve Frater. The time is 9 o'clock in the morning. We're in Baton Rouge at headquarters, and staff at headquarters, would you introduce yourselves, please?
Jasmine Thompson. Carla Williams. Laura Ellender.
Okay, and we're going to be our first hearing that we're going to have is a revocation hearing. And it's Mr. Troy ACHEE, who is at St. Tammany Parish Jail. Is any staff in there with you?
Yes, sir. Corporal Christopher Else.
Okay, Corporal, we thank you for being there. And your name that I'm looking at is Troy ACHEE, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Troy, what is your DOC number?
286821.
Okay, and do you have a piece of paper in front of you that's on a waiver and it talks about your rights as far as this hearing goes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And did you sign that and understand it and all?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Well, we appreciate that, Troy. Well, my name, as I said before, Steve Prater, in this particular case is assigned to me. And I wanted to just go over the violations and hear what you have to say about them. I don't want to spend a lot of time here if it's not necessary, but I want to make sure that you understand and have all of your rights afforded you to a fair hearing. You've already had a preliminary hearing, and it's my understanding to talk about these conditions, and that's what we'll be talking about today. You were paroled in 2019, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you're charged now, or you're accused of violating certain conditions that you agreed to before you got out of jail. And these conditions that you are accused of violating are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different conditions. And we'll go over those. And it's my understanding at the preliminary hearing, you pled guilty to all of these.
Yes, sir.
Okay, is it I'll go over them and you tell me if you're guilty or innocent. The first one is condition number 2, absconding, where you didn't report all the times you were supposed to report, or you didn't do the things you were supposed to do as far as staying in touch with the parole board. Excuse me, with your parole agent. Is that true or not?
Yes, sir. Well, I moved. What happened was I moved and she said she couldn't find me for 3 weeks. I didn't ask her permission. I should have asked her permission, she said, before I moved. You know, so I called her and told her my new address and everything, and asked if she could. I moved from Tangipahoa Parish to St. Tammany Parish, and I asked her, I said, can you transfer my paperwork? She said, yeah, I can do that. She said, with your address. I gave her my address. She said, when can you report in? I said, Monday morning, and I reported in Monday morning. I didn't know I had to report to her first and ask permission to leave. You know, I think that's the biggest part right there.
Okay, but they couldn't find you for a while. Is that correct?
3 weeks. Yeah, she said 3 weeks.
So that's what absconding really means. So, okay, and so you say you're guilty of that, correct?
Yes, sir. I mean, right.
Okay. The second one is failure to report your address, which is really the same as what we just talked about. Is you didn't keep up with them as far as letting them know where you were going to be, where we could find you immediately.
Right. Yes, sir.
After the, okay. All right. Number 4, you will not engage in criminal conduct. And the reason that that's on here is because you had some, it really goes to number 8 also. We could talk about those at the same time. But you had some different drug tests while you've been on parole. And I think 8 different times you came back hot for a number of different drugs, including heroin.
Yes, sir. I've been battling with it for a while, sir. Yes, I have.
Okay.
I've been in and out of methadone treatment, you know, and if I didn't have my methadone, I would go back to the heroin, you know, and yes, sir. You know, I've been battling with it for a while.
Okay, so and the criminal conduct has to do with the fact that if you got heroin, you had to buy it from a criminal who was selling heroin.
That's true. That's true.
So you're guilty of that, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. failure to submit to your, the medical treatment. I think there was something about you were supposed to be going to a methadone clinic and you didn't do it, and sometimes you'd run out and have to do the heroin like you said, so you weren't keeping up with what you're supposed to do with that either, correct?
Well, I was having trouble getting there at the time with my ride, and if I didn't have it, like I said, I would call for the heroin. Yes, sir.
Okay. And then, the final one is number 10. I think you owe $4,288 in arrears. And, condition number 10 says that you'll keep up with your parole fees, and you hadn't done that either, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You seem like an awful nice guy, and you're polite and all that. You got a horrible drug problem, don't you?
Yes, sir. I've been battling with it for years. I have, and I've been through couple rehabs, on my own. And I had a counselor tell me, he said, Troy, until you make your mind up, he said, you can go to jail, you can come to rehab. He said, it's up to you. He said, until you make your mind up, you're going to continue to use, and I've been sitting here for 30 some days, and I've been thinking about that. I'm 55 years old. What am I doing back in here? Why? I don't understand it. I'm letting drugs overpower me, something that I have control of. The drugs don't have control of me. I mean, it don't make sense. Why I keep going back to it. It really don't.
Well,
I have the control of it.
Troy, that's a heartbreaking story. It
Yes.
truly is. And I'm sorry that you're going through this. We've got a job to do, and my job is, I'm the first one to vote, and it's gotta be, you gotta be unanimous to get out. And so, pardon me, I said that wrong, not on a revocation, you gotta get 2 out of 3 votes to get out. But, my vote, excuse me, I need to ask, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Miss Jared, Miss Ledoux, do you have any questions? Okay, Troy, I vote first because it was my case, and my vote is to revoke you to save your life.
Yes, sir.
And I hope that you find some kind of comfort, some kind of substance abuse treatment or something while you're in jail that's going to help you with this challenge that you have. So my vote is to revoke.
My vote also is to revote. I concur with Mr. Freeman. Mr. Prater.
And Miss Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke and ask the DOC to place in a facility that has a rigorous substance abuse program.
Okay, thank you. And that'll be my recommendation also, like Miss Ledoux said. I'm glad she mentioned that.
I really need the help.
As of today, we wish you luck. We'll
All
say
right.
a prayer for you. And the time is 9:07 and you've been revoked, and good luck, Troy.
Thank
Talk to you.
Hold on 1 second, bro. All right, so later today, whenever they send it over.
Okay, good morning. This is the Committee on Parole that is meeting right now. It's October the 21st, 2025. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The board is Jerry Ledoux, who is on Zoom with us, Chuck Tillis on my left, and my name is Steve Prater. And we're going to be discussing a case today from Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women. And so that'll be our first case that we'll have. The time is 9:16 in the morning. It's a parole request, parole hearing for Miss KAITLIN Marino. Miss Marino, is that you I see there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Warden, I appreciate you hosting us this morning. And would you introduce the staff for us, please, or get them to introduce themselves?
Yes, sir. Kristen Thomas, Warden.
Tara P. ARDC Manager. Afton Gaddy, ARDC Supervisor. Lieutenant Bender.
And that's it.
Okay. Thank you for hosting us. We appreciate that. And Miss Marino, would you tell us what your DLC number is?
775646.
Okay, we appreciate that. And you have requested this morning that you be paroled early. Your full-time date anyway, according to the law, you're going to be being released in November of 2026 regardless. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you're wanting to be paroled early because your parole date is in 2025, coming up soon in 2025. So that's what your request is this morning. Well, go ahead and begin by telling us what you did and what you've done to improve your conduct, improve your nature. Tell us about that, to begin with.
All right. First and foremost, I want to apologize for my actions that I did do. And I'm holding myself very much responsible for what I did do for my crime. And I want to apologize to my victim and her family, because I don't know how to express what they went through based off of what I did. I have been trying to do the best I can with the time that I have been having. In Tallulah at LTCW, I did work for 2.5 years. First started in kitchen detail, did that for 5 months. Then I went to laundry detail and did that for 1 month, shy of 2 years. I started the sex offender program, but due to circumstances of the teacher that I had, which was Dr. Robert Hanser, he got fired from that location. So I was unable to complete it. I tried to see about another supervisor for helping me with that class, but I never got told otherwise. I've been doing correspondence classes through the mail. One of them's friend of mine, another one is Bible study. I'm a very religious person. I've grown spiritually since being incarcerated more than I ever have in my life. And ultimately, I want a chance to show society that I have changed. If I'm just given the chance, I want to prove that I have rehabilitated, even though the certain classes weren't offered to me.
Okay.
If not, I understand.
All right, well, we're gonna have a chance to go a little bit deeper into what's going on, and its case has been assigned to me, so I'll ask you some questions in a little bit, but I first want to hear what the warden has to say, and then we'll be hearing from some supporters and some in opposition of this request. Warden, what kind of person has she been since you have known her?
So that's what I was going to say. I don't know Miss Marino very well. She actually just transferred here last week from LTCW. So we have not had a long time with her. But as far as I've been informed, she did not have any disciplinary issues. She does participate in Ashland to work on her educational studies. So that's always a positive thing. And our staff is going to be working with her if she were to receive a favorable vote just on transitional housing, if that is something that we need to work on. But as I said, we've only had her for a week exactly. So we've not had any issues since she's arrived, but I don't have a whole lot of detail.
Thank you, Warden. We appreciate that. Okay, we'll go directly now to the folks that are on Zoom. There's two people that are going to speak. There's Anissa Boyd and Brenda Jones. They're together. One is the mother and one is your grandmother. So I want to hear what they have to say. Miss Boyd, would you start out? Miss Anissa Boyd.
Yes, sir. I feel like she has done her time. She has changed. She's worked very hard since she has been in there, and I feel like that she will be good to come home and finish her time here. And just get back into society and get back to work and do her schooling and just grow from here on out and to never do what she has done again.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hear from Brenda, the grandmother. Miss Jones.
Yes, sir.
Would you talk to us and tell us what you've got to say on your mind?
I think Caitlin is one of the best granddaughters that I've got. I've got 3 of them. And she has never given anybody any troubles before she ever went in there. And before all of this took place with Caitlin, she lived with me and she's been around me her whole life. She has stayed with me many a day and night. I've taken care of her, and she's never done anything like this before. I think she just got with the wrong crowd of people. And when you get with the wrong crowd of people, they can have a lot of influence on the life that you choose. And I pray that she'll choose a better life for herself and get in with better people, find her a job, and take care of herself and think about her schooling. She's in the school and she wants to finish an education to get a better job for herself and working in restaurants and things like that. I think I know I'm her grandmother and I'm prejudiced to her, but I think she's a wonderful person. And I look forward to her coming home and being with me, because she will, as far as I know, she will stay with me again. And I enjoy her being with me and being around me. And I love her with all my heart. I hate that things happen like they have happened. And I know that she's learned from being there and everything that the where she went wrong. And I pray that she'll learn better whenever she gets out. She'll find her a good job and get it and take care of her the rest of her life.
Okay. All right. Thank you. You're a good mother and grandmother, and we appreciate y'all's support and appearing and testifying on Zoom for us. Okay, we'll move into the opposition now. The first we'll hear from the Miss Layla Jones, the victim's mother.
Grandmother first, Chair.
You want to do the, excuse me, I'm sorry. We want to do Miss Pam Esters first. Miss Pam Esters.
Yes, sir. Pam Dr. Esther. I want to thank y'all for meeting with us this evening. Giving us this opportunity to speak.
Okay, could you speak as loud as you can?
I can try. I am MRA's maternal grandmother. Okay, I am the reporter in this case. MRA told me what happened and I reported what happened. MRA and what my role in this was, and the role that I took on with this situation in this case with MRA, is to ensure that MRA got all of the therapy and the treatment that she could get the very best. And I have ensured that that's happened for the past 5 years. MRA has been in treatment for 5 years, and she's continued to be in treatment to get the help she needs. I do not agree that someone can be rehabilitated in a short period of time. As that my granddaughter is still having to go through therapy and will be in therapy for no telling how long, or what has happened to her. I don't think that the environment that that she is rehabilitating back to is what she's saying. That's where what happened to my granddaughter happened with the same people. And I don't see that that's conducive to rehabilitation either. I have many concerns about, her being released early. One of which is that my granddaughter, and she and I have spoken about this, needs at least 6 months to work with her therapist intensely to be able to transition to her being released. Because this is a very traumatic experience that went on with my granddaughter. And so releasing her within a short notice is going to be detrimental to everything granddaughter has worked hard to get past. And she is doing, Emory has come such a long way. We went from where this child was 2 years in her room. We could only drag her out to get her to therapy, to see a therapist, because we knew she had to. But for 2 years, she would not come out of her room. And she has blossomed into a young lady. Her childhood was taken. Her innocence was taken. I don't want her teenage years and her senior year of high school, or she doesn't go to high school, she homeschools. Her senior year to be ruined by, she's already been set back by this, by getting this information and us having to go through this whole process, because we thought we had another year. And she thought she was gonna get to finish high school and have some sort of normalcy before she had to face this again. But here we stand.
Okay.
And I do beg of y'all to please take all of that into consideration of what Emory has been through. And what that it will do to affect her if she is able to get an early release.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're a good grandmother and you did many things above and beyond. So I'm sure that's appreciated. Thank you. Okay, we'll move on now to Miss Layla Jones.
Good morning. I'm Layla Jones. God bless me with being the survivor in this case, Emory Jones's mother. I'm here today to ask that you, the board, deny KAITLIN Marino early release. Emory at 11 years old trusted KAITLIN enough to tell her that she had been being molested by KAITLIN's brother Andrew. Emory went to her for help. Sadly, instead of helping Emory, KAITLIN told Emory all cousins do that and began victimizing Emory herself. Emory has suffered enough at the hands of KAITLIN and Andrew for 2 lifetimes. Emory has lived through 2 suicide attempts, self-harm in the form of cutting, being too afraid to leave her room as she truly believed all the world to be evil, hospitalization in a mental health facility, severe anxiety and depression, night terrors, nightmares, severe PTSD, flashbacks, having to take multiple medications a day, and living with severe panic attacks. Emory has gained over 100 pounds from binge eating since coming forward, which compounds the problem of her high blood pressure developed during the abuse. Emory has a psychiatrist, psychologist, and an EMDR therapist. EMDR is used to treat severe PTSD in soldiers who have been overseas in combat. Emery has never tied up her boots on foreign soil, but she is no stranger to war. The cousin, through it all, Emery has fought her way back. I made a promise 5 years ago to Emery that Caitlin would be in prison until Emery had a chance to grow up at least. Emery will be 18 in April, graduate in May, and begin college soon after. I beg you of the board to let my baby grow up and have a normal high school experience in senior year. She has already lost so much. Please don't diminish the fight for Emery's life that she did to survive by releasing Caitlin early. Caitlin taught me that true evil isn't the monster hiding in the closet. It is the normal looking, innocent acting girl sitting in a church pew. Please do not be as fooled as I was. You won't have to live with the regret I live with every day for trusting her and her brother Andrew. I beg of you, don't release her early. Let Emery live the life she fought so hard for. Thank you for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry for the pain you're going through, and you're very supportive and great mother there. We appreciate that. Now we're going to, I've got a motion. I'd like a motion to go into executive session, hear more testimony for a brief period of time. Could I have that
I
motion?
move to go into executive session.
Prater,
Yes.
Tilly,
Yes.
Ledoux.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be in executive session just a few minutes, and then we will come back out and begin our questioning and then make our decision and take our vote. So we're signing off at 9:32 in the morning for just a few minutes for executive session testimony.
Motion that we move back into session.
Okay, we have a motion to move back into regular session from executive session. Ms. Ledoux,
I'll second.
okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're back in regular session. It's 9:36 in the morning. And so we've heard some testimony and we appreciate that. So it's now what happens, Ms. Marino, is I will ask some questions of you. And then my co-workers up here will ask some questions of you, co-board members. And then we will take a vote, see if you're gonna get out early or not. But my first question is, Ms. Marino, you kind of glossed over something. What did you do?
I came across on her internet browser. I was playing games on her cell phone while she was playing games on mine. Just typical cousin hangout. As I came across her phone, she had pornography on her phone. And she looked at me and I said, you know, you're not supposed to have this on your phone, right? And she's like, well, I don't want you to tell my mom and dad. I'll get in trouble. And I told her, I said, well, I'm just glad you didn't go to somebody else, because somebody else could have hurt you. And I made the mistake and I told her. She asked me to help buy her a sex toy, and I agreed to it. And then backtracking a couple weeks later, right before I got arrested, I told her I can't do that. That was wrong. That I had to change her heart. And she said that she trusted me to tell me about her needs and how that she is experimenting. And I told her, I said, you don't need to be doing that. You're only 11. But then I guess I remembered that being that age, everybody gets curious at some point in life. Oh, she said, well, I have questions. And I said, okay. She said, I'm curious to see what these people are trying to do in these videos. And I said, what videos? And she pulled it up on her cell phone and showed it to me. And I told her how wrong it was. And I told her, I said, I need to speak to your mom when you go home. And my grandmother took her home in the middle of the night. And the next day I was trying to get a hold of them, ask them if I come speak with them about the situation. And nobody would message me back, so I left it alone. And then about a week later, they came out and had a family discussion talking about how I had been teaching her about sexual pleasure and gratification and everything else. And it's not, I was answering her questions because in my mindset, I was like, okay, you came to a cousin. You asked a family member instead of going to a stranger or looking towards people on the internet. And I know it was wrong. And I wish I could take it back. I wish I could change it, but I can't. And all I can do is ask for forgiveness and hope that they can forgive me. And the entire time I thought I was protecting her when I should have just protected her from me. And I can't change that. And I'm sorry. I really am sorry.
Were you aware of anything that anyone else had done to her that was wrong?
No, sir, I didn't know nothing. I only knew about this situation.
Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right, well, you're not on trial right now, so I'm just hearing what you got to say on your side, and I'll decide for myself whether I believe it or not, okay? That's really all the questions that I have. Ms. Ledoux, do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Tillis, you got any questions? Okay, that's the question. Nobody else gonna ask you any questions. It's time to vote. My vote is that you be denied this request. Mr. Tillage?
My vote also is to concur with you. My vote is denied.
And my reason, I should have given a reason. My reason, because it's such a heinous crime, because of the victim opposition, and because you're gonna be getting out regardless, gonna be getting out fairly soon anyway. So, that's my reasoning behind it. And do you still agree with that, Mr. Tillage?
Yes, I concur.
Okay, Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is to deny parole based on a static 99 of 3 and law enforcement opposition and taking advantage from a position of authority or respect.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Marino, as of 9:42 this morning, your parole request has been denied. Thank you. All right, we'll continue with the Lieutenant Committee on Parole. Time is 9:56 in the morning. We're at Baton Rouge at headquarters. It's gonna be Jerry Ledoux, Chuck Tillis, and myself, Steve Prater, that'll be conducting this parole request. And we're at the Louisiana Correction, or you are at the Louisiana Correctional Institute, not us. We're in Baton Rouge. And so your name is Trinda Poole, is that correct, Ms. Poole?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
Okay, and what is your DLC number?
597280.
Okay, and Warden, we appreciate it. We've heard the introductions from you all down there, and thank you for holding us. And I'll ask you in just a minute to tell us what kind of person Ms. Poole has been since you've known her. But Trinda, tell us what you've done, and tell you what, let's turn it over to Chuck Tillis, who is going to be handling this case. Mr. Tillis, would you?
Good morning, Ms. Poole. How are you?
I'm fine, how are you, sir?
Good. Tell us why you're incarcerated and what have you done since you've been there? How did you get incarcerated?
I was a drug dealer. I made some bad choices, and I've definitely learned my lesson. I'm a different person today, definitely a different person today. I found Christianity, I found Jesus. I'm a totally different person than I used to be. I've changed so much. I surprise myself and how much I've changed and how much I want to do when I get out with helping other people that's been through what I've been through, and helping show people that, God can do it for me. They can, he'll do it for them too. And not just with Jesus, but in general, you can find a way to get through these kinds of things and get past it. I was more addicted, I think, to selling drugs than it was actually doing them. I've been a convicted felon for a while. It was hard to get a job being a convicted felon, and it was just the money was easier selling drugs and taking care of my kids. And I chose the wrong route, and I'm paying for it. And in a way, I'm thankful that I ended up where I ended up. It was God's way of showing me I needed to sit down. Something bad was going to happen if I hadn't, got incarcerated and got in the trouble that I got myself into and come to prison. I believe it was God's way of saving my life, because I would have ended up getting hurt. Somebody was eventually going to hit me in the head, take my drugs and things. Nothing good was going to come from it. And I believe God saved my life by putting me here.
I see. Warden, what can you tell us about her since she's been there with you?
So Ms. Poole actually just transferred last week, so we've not had a lot of time with her. I know she has completed living in balance at a previous facility that she was incarcerated at. I don't believe from the records we have that she had any disciplinary issues where she was, and we have not had any issues with her since she's been here with us. But I don't have too much to add just because we've only known her for about a week.
Okay, are there some courses there you can help her with?
Yes, we could backlog her, yes, sir, for a few other things. We also offer living in balance, so we would not obviously go down that road, but there are a few other classes that we could backlog her for.
Okay. Ms. Poole, what classes have you taken since you've been incarcerated?
I've taken living in balance, and that's all I was given.
What did you learn? What did you learn there?
I learned a lot about drugs, about being introduced back into the real world, kind of like some re-entry stuff. It covers a lot of things. It covers STDs, anger. It covers parenting. It covered life, everything. It covered just a little bit of everything. It touched home on everything.
Okay. I read your case. We have somebody on Zoom. Yeah, okay. We'll get back to the question, and we're gonna hear from Miss Mindy Barton.
Yes. Are y'all ready for my statement?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm here today speaking on behalf of my mom. It's been hard to put into words what this moment has meant for my family. My mom has been through so much in her life. She's faced a lot of pain and loss and hardship most people couldn't imagine. And because of those choices that she's made during those times, I've had to carry a lot of that too. There were years that I felt angry and hurt and disappointed beyond belief, and there were times I didn't think I would ever be able to forgive her. But the woman that I know today, she is not the same woman that she was. She has found faith. And through that faith, she has found peace and accountability and purpose. And the transformation I've seen in her is something that only God can do. She has done a complete 360, and it's real. It's not just words and promises. It's how she speaks and how she thinks, how she prays and how she carries herself. When I talk to her now, I hear strength and I hear wisdom, and I hear a mother who finally sees her worth and her value. She doesn't just want to be free. She's not here in front of you guys today to be free. She just wants to live right. She wants to spend whatever years that she has left making up for lost time and giving back and being a mom and a grandma. She and my 5-year-old daughter have an unbreakable bond, and the hardest part about all of this is the time that they're losing together. My mom missed out on a lot of my life up until I was around 5 years old. So I know that it's been really hard for her to be missing out on my daughter's life as well. So I'm here today not as a victim of my mom's past, but as a witness to her redemption. I have forgiven her completely because I've seen her change and I've seen her grow into the kind of woman that I know that she always could be. She has a home and a family and a support system waiting for her, people who believe in her and are ready to walk this new chapter beside her. My prayer is not that you'll give her that chance to live out her faith and to make up for lost time and to pour into her family while she still has the time left to do it. So please let her come home, not just for herself, but for me, her granddaughter, our family, the time that we're not going to be able to get back.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Any of my colleagues have any questions they want to ask Ms. Lulu?
Yes, I would like to ask, Ms. Poole, have you taken the pre-release? You have not taken the pre-release class, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, what about GED? Do you have your GED?
No, ma'am, I don't have my GED. I was in class to get my GED and I tested and I passed everything but the math. And I retook the math and all I scored was a 7 and I need to score 8 and I'll have my GED. I'm ready. I'm ready now. Just whenever they want to give it to me, I'm ready for it. I can do this.
I don't know that I could pass the math GED.
It's been hard, but I'm ready now.
Okay, so tell me, how long have you actually been incarcerated this time?
Since August of 23.
So 2 years, a little over 2 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And you have a 10-year sentence.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
How long did you spend incarcerated your first time?
Months. It wasn't years. It was months, like a few months. How many? 9 months.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Mr. Prater?
I have no questions.
I see you have a good time date of February 28, 2027. I have no more questions. Are panel ready to vote?
Yes, sir, we're ready to vote.
In this case, Ms. Poole, I think you need some more training. I'd like to see you pass your GED. And we gotta realize the choices we make are the choices we have to live with. And it's really bad that you're away from your family. But I think you need to get these courses, get your GED, and at this time, my vote's gonna be to deny.
Okay, Ms. Ledoux?
Ms. Poole, my vote is also to deny based on, you've not taken required programming and you've had very little time served, although I know that 2 years is a long time. You have a great opportunity. Your daughter is very well spoken and I think she brings out some good points. But I would encourage you to take this time to gain as much as you can while you're in custody.
Okay. And my vote also is to concur with them and to deny at this particular time because of the amount of drugs and because that you were selling a large amount of drugs to supply your habit. And so I think some serious programming to reinforce what you've already done. And I applaud you for the transition that you made. I believe it like your daughter does. I believe it's sincere. I don't think it's a lie at all, but I think that it would be almost laughing at the judicial system if we were to allow somebody just to serve 2 years of a 10-year sentence on the second go round. And so for that reason, I'm going to also vote to deny. So as of 10:07 this morning, your request has been denied, but maybe I might vote differently the next time I see you. So continue the path that you're on. Thank you.
Do I have to do anything on it?
Okay, the time is 10:11 in the morning. The date is October the 21st, 2025. We're the Committee on Parole. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. To my left is Chuck Tillis. On Zoom is Jerry Ledoux, and my name is Steve Prater. We're here to hear the revocation case against Mr. Derrick James. And who is at LaFouche Correctional right now. And is anybody, I see the staff, but would you introduce yourself, please?
Deputy Jennifer Exnicious.
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Mr. Derrick James, what is your DOC number?
443071.
Okay, and you're here for a revocation hearing, and the case is assigned to me. You've got two violations of two rules since you've been on parole that you're accused of violating. One is number 4, rule number 4, violation number 4. It's a you were charged with domestic abuse battery. I realize you pled to disturbing the peace, but that's still against the law. And rule number 4 says you won't violate any laws. This occurred on May of 2025, and you've been in jail since then. Tell me about that. Are you guilty of that or not?
No, sir. I had turned myself in. I had turned myself in to take care of the charges, to get the charges out the way. But they ended up driving the charges to disturbing the peace. They asked me if it was gonna violate my parole. At the time, I told them I didn't know, because that what was happening when I signed the paper. My parole officer only told me that if I beat the charges, they was gonna give me a reprimand.
Okay, but you didn't take the charges. You pled guilty to disturbing the peace, correct?
Yes, sir. That's what made the judge. The judge asked me, would that violate my parole? But I didn't know at the time. So, I mean, that's why I took the disturbing the peace. But if I known it was gonna violate my parole, I would have never pled to it.
Okay. Let me ask you a couple questions. Did you knock this woman to the ground and hit her on the left side of her head?
No, sir. She slipped, running behind me, trying to get in my truck to leave the scene.
Okay, so she just slipped.
Yes, sir. She ended up getting in a fight the night before at the club, which means my little girl was at home. She left. One of her friends called her to go to the club to go get in trouble, like she did. When she came back home, she was already beat up.
We got the pictures, okay?
Yeah.
They took pictures. They took pictures of her, and I've seen the pictures, as has my co-panel members here. We've all seen the pictures, and she got bow-popped in the head, So I just wonder what happened. And so you're saying nothing to do with you.
Yeah, she got that at the club. That's why me and her ended up getting into it, because I told her that what made me end up leaving, because I told her, damn, like, what if you would have went out there and got hurt or killed or something, you know what I'm saying? Me and my daughter wouldn't have never knew nothing that happened to you. You let somebody call you out your comfort zone, out your house, to go to the club with them and go get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So me and her ended up getting into it. So I told her I'm leaving. So I ended up going to my sister's house. I ended up leaving and going to my sister's house. So when she running out the house behind me, she slipped and fell and, messed her legs up and stuff. I ain't never put my hands on her.
Okay. Did the deputies talk to you on the telephone and you refused to meet with them?
No, sir. I never talked to no deputies. When they I talked to my parole officer. I was working. I'm seeing my parole officer every day. When he told me I told him I was coming to turn myself in. I said, I'm gonna go turn myself in to get the charges over with, to, to face reality. I mean, I wasn't hiding from nobody or nothing. I was at work. I was working.
Can I ask a question? Sure. You said you were going to turn yourself in. What were you going to turn yourself in for?
Because they had put a warrant out for me for the charges.
Your girlfriend filed charges or called the police on you because of because
Yeah.
oh, so she called and filed charges on you.
Yes,
Or
sir.
because you hit her or because she fell or what?
No, she called and filed charges on me because, you know what I'm saying, she was trying to be dirty. I mean, I ain't had no knowledge of how going to the club and getting beat up. I was aggravated behind the situation. Because you left us in the house. So what if you wouldn't have came home? I'm stuck at home with my daughter, waiting to go to work the next day. I ended up leaving and going to my sister's house. So I started staying with my sister. They had put the warrant out. I was out of jail for like 2-3 weeks before I turned myself in. So my parole officer, I'm in contact with my parole officer. So I tell him, I'm gonna get things established with my job. And I'm gonna come turn myself in.
Okay.
So I did that. So my
Okay.
boss.
You saying the same thing over and over. You through, Mr. Tillis?
Yeah, I'm through.
Okay, it's, even the dispatcher heard the fight that was going on. It says in the report, it also says after leaving the scene, deputies were contacted by Mr. James. Mr. James admitted to an altercation and advised he would turn himself in on Monday. It was requested that Mr. James meet with deputies, but Mr. James refused.
No, sir, that's not what happened.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's definitely lying in the report then, I reckon.
Yeah, because I told them I was gonna turn myself in. I told them I was gonna come in and talk to them. After I had got things situated with my job, I was in contact. I was in contact with my parole officer. I never was running from nobody.
Okay, you're not guilty of number 4 is what your statement is. What about number 10 where you owe $571? Do you owe $571?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you're guilty of that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Ms. Ledoux, would you like to ask some questions?
Mr. James, as a 7th felony offender, how many times have you been on probation or parole?
I've been on parole since 2001, ma'am.
How many times have you been on parole?
It's like my 4th time.
And have you ever satisfactorily completed any of your parole terms?
Yes, ma'am.
You did?
Once or twice.
Okay. I had trying to follow your narrative. I see pictures of someone with fresh blood on them taken by the police officer that you indicate she received these injuries at a club the night before. Your story's not lining up, okay, with the evidence.
I'm saying she ran out the house.
Okay. Yes, she ran out of the house, but then she got those at the club. There's too many gaps in the story. So I just want you to know that I have concerns about the story I'm hearing, but that's all I have to say. Thank you, Mr. Prater.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I think that's all the questions that we have. It's time to vote. Mr. James, my vote is first, and I vote that your parole be revoked. Mr. Tillis?
I concur. My vote is to revoke also.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Ledoux?
My vote is to revoke based on the preponderance of evidence that he violated his parole.
Okay, violations of rules number 4 and 10. Just for the record, at 10:20 this morning, your parole has been revoked. Thank you. The end of the hearing. Okay, the time is 10:24 in the morning. Today's date is October the 21st of 2025. My name is Steve Prater. To my left is Chuck Tillis, and on Zoom is the third board member, Ms. Jerry Ledoux. We're going to be talking to Jermaine Armstead, who is here for a revocation hearings from the Orleans Justice Center. Is anybody in the staff there with you, Mr. Armstead?
Yes, sir.
Would you introduce yourself, please?
Deputy Carr and Miss Lawrence.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Appreciate that. We appreciate that. Mr. Armstead, you are Jermaine Armstead, correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is your DOC number?
295317.
Okay, and do you have a questionnaire in front of you, a waiver, a piece of paper that you signed?
Yes.
Okay, and you signed that, you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, your case has been assigned today to Mr. Chuck Tillis. Mr. Tillis will take over and he will be doing the questioning and talk to you and then turn it over to the rest of the board for questions and then we'll vote. Mr. Tillis.
Mr. Armstead, how are you?
I'm all right, sir.
Good. I'm going to read some violations that were broken, and you can plead guilty, not guilty, or with a statement. Rule number 1, the subject failed to refrain from criminal conduct as evident as his arrest on 6/9/2025 by the New Orleans Police Department, where he was booked with the domestic violence abuse battery. On 7/8/2025, the subject was charged. The subject's charges were refused in the Orleans Criminal District Court. How do you plead guilty, not guilty with a statement? Did you understand me?
Yes, sir.
You plead guilty, not guilty, or do you want to make a statement?
Guilty. Not guilty.
Not guilty? Tell me what happened. Tell us what happened.
Huh?
Go ahead.
Not guilty with a statement.
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what happened. Why you are innocent?
Well, the incident had been supposed to happen in 2024. Me and my guy got into an argument because I was leaving out with a partner of mine to go play basketball. And she didn't want me to leave. So I told her, please let me go and have some fun. I asked her, let me go and have some fun. And she refused. So I sat down just to calm down and hope she moved by the door. And when she did move by the door, I ran out of the house to get in the car. And when I came back later on that evening, everything was calmed down. So I ain't never knew she called the police. I ain't never knew I had a warrant out for me or nothing. So like a year later, which is the date you just read up, a year later, I have to get stopped by the police and get arrested for something take place way 2024. I've been going to see my PO ever since the incident, and my PO never did put me in custody. Anytime something happens, and NOPD find out you're on parole, they hand the incident over to your PO. So your PO can be the one to grab you and put you in custody in case they don't see you. And my PO never did tell me about a warrant. I have no knowledge of a warrant or nothing.
Are you saying that this happened a year ago?
Yes, sir. 2024 June.
Okay.
And I've been complying seeing my PO for the whole 5 years I've been home, sir.
Okay. Any of my colleagues have any questions on rule number 4 with Mr. Armstead?
Ms. Ledoux?
I'd like to know what was going on when you were detained by the police. They went to check out a disturbance, and they were called to a disturbance, and they found that you had a warrant. So what was going on at that time?
Wait, I'm sorry, excuse me, what you saying? Can you run it back to me again, ma'am?
So I understand that the domestic abuse battery happened June 7th, 2024.
Yeah.
However, the police were called to an incident where they ran your name and they found you had a warrant and they detained you. What was going on that they were called at that time?
They did not detain me that day, ma'am, because I didn't have no.
I know, the day that you were detained in June of 25.
All right.
What was going on June of 25 that you got detained?
Oh, really nothing. Really, we was just riding and we got stopped, and they happened to run my name through. When they ran my name through, they told me you got a warrant for your arrest. And I asked them if they a warrant. I said, for what? I said, I haven't been in no trouble in 5 years, which longer than that, because I did 26 months incarcerated. So they ran back and said your warrant from 2024.
Ms. Ledoux?
Yes.
We have on Zoom New Orleans Public Defenders here. Maybe they can give us shed a little light on this. Which one of you want to go first?
Good morning, members of the board. My name is Victor Miranda. I'd like to go first, if that's okay.
Sure.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Prater, Mr. Tillis, Ms. Ledoux, anybody else that I might have missed in the background there. Thank you for your time. Now, I'd first like to talk about Mr. Armstead's posture at the time. Now, as we've established on the record, this is an event that occurred June, I believe, 7th of 2024. Mr. Armstead was not taken into custody until June the 8th of 2025 of this year. Now, Mr. Armstead not only maintains his innocence regarding these charges. Again, there were misdemeanor domestic abuse battery charges, which were refused. However, he also maintains that during this time period, he lived with Miss Bunch without any issues whatsoever. Further, prior to his arrest on June the 8th of this year, he's had no issues with his parole. He's been on parole for approximately 5 years now. And I believe his parole officer, Mr. Todd Weidenbecker, would testify as to his success during his parole. He checked in as he had to. He did everything that was required of him as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about his time in custody as well. Now, as of today, October the 21st, Mr. Armstead has been in custody for approximately 4.5 months, give or take. He's had no behavioral issues, no physical altercations, no issues during his custodial period. However, he has had some medical issues. He related to us yesterday. He's had multiple seizures, which has caused some physical injuries. In fact, if you look above his right eyebrow, he has some stitches, which he recently received, and he has some bruising on his face and on the rest of his body. Further, he maintains he has not been receiving his medication at the appropriate levels and has not been receiving medical care while in custody. Now, I do not believe this is due to any um, um, issues with the actual medical process of the medical practitioners. I believe it's just the nature of being in custody. Now, I will say as well, one thing that really surprised me about Mr. Armstead and his community is how much community support he has available to him outside in the community. Now today, besides from myself, you will hear from Miss Mia Barr, a client and advocate with our office, excuse me, at the Orleans Public Defenders, who will testify as to the excellent program that we have set up for Mr. Armstead. And you would have heard from Miss Quisha Jackson, which is his niece who lives out in New Orleans East on Chef Menteur. Now, unfortunately, she's not able to be with us today because she had some difficulties logging on this morning. Further, I believe, observing the proceedings are his siblings, Randy and Patricia Armstead from Dallas. Now, Ms. Quisha Jackson has told us that she is willing to take in Mr. Armstead right now, today, if need be, and she's very willing to drive him to his appointments and other considerations throughout the time that he is released on parole. Now, besides with this strong support system, I believe that it would be best for Mr. Armstead to not be in custody, especially taking account his actual medical issues while in custody as well. Now, I'd like to turn back as well and remind the board that these charges, these misdemeanor charges, were refused. So right now, Mr. Armstead is not facing any other, any sort of charges, any criminal charges, misdemeanor charges, not even any felony charges as well. Now, finally, Mr. Prater, I'd like to reflect on a difficult decision you made earlier today. You mentioned you made a decision in order to save someone's life, and I certainly appreciate the difficulty of that decision. I sincerely believe that if you were to release Mr. Armstead today, that would also save his life, taking into account the medical issues that he's been having both in custody, but not also the support system and the support programs that we have lined up for him throughout our client support division. I'd like to finally point out as well that Mr. Armstead willingly and on his own volition volunteered for his programs. He required no convincing, no coaxing, no prodding or nudging from us. He was very willing to enroll in these programs as well. With that, I believe my time is up. I respectfully request that this board votes to release Mr. Armstead. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Ms. Barr. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Ms. Barr?
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be in front of you again. My name is Mia Barr, and I'm a client advocate at this office. I've been working with Mr. Armstead for a number of months now, and he's maintained to me throughout the entirety of our time working together how eager he is to return home to parole, engage in services, and get his life back on track due to the interruption from incarceration. Mr. Armstead, outside of the isolated incident that led to the now refused charge, has created a remarkably stable life for himself that's at risk due to continued incarceration. As Mr. Miranda said, he's incredibly medically vulnerable. He's had a number of seizures over my time working with him. Most recently, as he said, with the stitches needing on his face. And, he's woken up each morning by folks on his tier telling him that he had seizures during the night. And he's reasonably really worried for his health, as are we. The plan that I've put together for Mr. Armstead includes anger management to build off of the anger management course he took at DOC when he was in custody. Mr. Armstead recognizes that building healthy communication and relationship skills is an ongoing process where he wants to continue to improve. It's a lifelong process that he knows he'll always have to be learning in, as will all of us. I've referred him to CAITA Prevention and Recovery Center for treatment. It's an outpatient treatment center actually located in the same building as our office, which means that really easy, and I can make sure that all the services are readily available to him. And also, due to his medical history, he's eligible to receive legal services and case management from Frontline Legal Services. They provide case management, health education, legal and risk reduction services to link justice-involved individuals to living with certain medical conditions, to emergency financial housing and social security assistance. As we said before, he's incredibly medically vulnerable, and he has a long-standing medical team at University Medical Center, and his doctors and Mr. Armstead are eager to reconnect to make sure he receives the right medications at the right times. As Mr. Miranda said, Ms. Quisha Jackson, Mr. Armstead's niece, was wanting to testify today but wasn't able to make it. I've been in good touch with her throughout the entirety of the case, and she's ready and willing to house him at her apartment and help him get where he needs to go. All of that said, I will remain available to Mr. Armstead after his release, even though he won't have an open case with the public defender's office. My case will remain open with him to make sure that all of his benefits are active, that he gets where he needs to go, that any services that I haven't already set him up with, if he needs, are available to him. And Mr. Armstead has been a joy to work with. He has really been, wanting to tell the board how well he's done on parole, and how well he can do on parole if released again. So I'm happy to answer any questions about the services plan I've set up.
What's the name of your organization?
My organization?
Yes.
I'm a client advocate in the Client Services Division at Orleans Public Defenders.
Any other questions, Jerry? Steve?
Yes, I do have a question. I'd like to know what would be the relationship between Mr. Armstead and the victim, Kathy Bunch.
Would you like me to answer that, Ms. Ledoux, or would you like Mr. Armstead too?
I would like Mr. Armstead too.
Yes, ma'am.
No problem, man. Yeah, we still close friends. We just don't, we just not in a relationship like we used to be. But we still close as friends. I still communicate with her every now and then and support her, like helping her out when she needs for advice or anything. She had 3 strokes, so her comprehension is very slow. So I talk to her on some positive level.
Okay, so are you going to be in an intimate relationship where you're going to be living together after you leave your sisters?
No, ma'am. No. Once I finish living with my niece, and after I get off parole or whatever, I just go to Dallas and live with my brother and sister. I get an apartment out there.
Okay, because there are pictures of that indicate maybe there was a physical altercation in 2024, and I'm just concerned about the continued contact and whether that's going to be potential concern for her safety.
No, ma'am, that you ain't got to worry about, ma'am. I want to talk to her on a positive level, ma'am. Like I apologize for the things you see, but we only talking on a positive level. We not involved as girlfriend and boyfriend. We just as friends.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Steve?
I don't have any questions.
Okay, let's go to rule number 10. Subject failed to keep up with his supervision fees and is currently $2,079 in the arrear. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or what?
Not guilty, sir.
With a statement?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I was receiving government benefits, and really I kept seizures, and nobody would not hire me due to my medical issue. I received government benefit, and from the 2000, I'm under the 280 law, and I read in the book, if you receive government benefit, you're not supposed to repay the government back the benefit that he gave you to take care of yourself. If I pay him $79, say $73 a month, I got a $900 rent and less than $100 light bill. I mean, how can I pay it? But the law told me that I can't. I told my parole officer several times that I been getting phone calls from Baton Rouge to pay this, to pay that. He told me not to worry about it. You know, and
I should know.
Okay,
you gotta excuse me. I'm something with Bell Falls. I'm sorry.
well, they didn't, they released the charges yesterday on some things. Okay, are there any more questions, Ms. Ledoux? Mr. Prater?
No.
I'm ready to vote.
Okay.
Mr. Armstead, I'm gonna vote, do not revoke you, but you're gonna have to stay away from, no contact with your old girlfriend.
Yes,
And,
yes, sir.
You're gonna be living with your niece.
Yes, sir.
You need to follow up on all these, appointments you have.
No problem.
That's my vote today, is do not release.
Ms. Ledoux? Do not, you said do not release. Do not revoke.
Do not revoke. Okay.
Mr. Armstead, because this violation happened in 2024, was refused, and you've been write-up free since that time, my vote is also to vote to not release, that you must comply with the plans set forth by the caseworker for the public defender's office and have no contact with Kathy Bunch. I think you should seek clarification on your fee arrearage.
Jerry, you
Okay.
mean do not revoke,
What did I say?
do not release.
I didn't know if I was hearing things wrong or something, but you
I
said
think I'm
release.
just- You know
Do
what?
not-
I'm just following what Mr. Tillis said. So my vote is to do not revoke, whatever.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You said it first. I
Okay.
was following the leader. No.
Okay, and my vote also is likewise to concur with my board members and do not revoke you and wish you luck when you get out. Stay away from that lady, try to get your fees picked up, and you've brought up something very interesting to me to research. And I think the New Orleans Indigent Defender, Public Defender Board or Public Defender folks, thank you, y'all brought some light that I don't think we might have gotten because of communication, and we appreciate what you did. Okay, as of right
Absolutely.
now, you are not revoked, and the time is 10:46 in the morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning. The time is 10:54 in the morning. We're currently in Baton Rouge. This is the Committee on Parole. We're here to hear a revocation hearing against Mr. Morgan Medgar. My name is Steve Prater. With us on Zoom is Jerry Ledoux, who will be handling your case this morning. And to my left is Chuck Tillis. We've already introduced the staff here, and we're speaking to you at Orleans Justice Center. And we've been at Orleans previously, so I think staff there has already introduced themselves. And so we have Mr. Medgar Morgan. Is that you, Mr. Morgan, I'm looking at?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, what is your DOC number?
631-068.
Okay, thank you. And do you have a waiver in front of you, a piece of paper that shows what your rights are as far as to an attorney for this hearing?
Yes,
Questionnaire?
sir, I do. Yes, sir.
Okay. And you signed that and understood that, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So we're going to handle this case. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Ledoux. But before I do, Ms. Ledoux, do you have those that are speaking in favor? Okay. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we? Okay. I'm going to.
I can read the charges and then you can call on the people who would like to speak.
Okay, that'll be great. We'll do it that way. Thank you, Ms. Ledoux. So I'll turn it over to you.
I do understand that there is retained counsel. Is that Mr. Mitchell? Is the name I had on here, Adrian Mitchell?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if there's a need to intervene, you may do so, but the offender must make the plea. The plea, Mr. Morgan, I'm going to read two things into the record. You're going to give me a plea of guilty, not guilty, or guilty with a statement. The first violation is condition number 2, in which it is stated that you failed to report as directed and you have not reported to the district office since November 15th, 2024. How do you plead on that?
Guilty.
I'm sorry.
Guilty.
Guilty. Thank you. Also, allegation number 4, it's alleged you engaged in criminal activity when you were arrested by the New Orleans Police Department on April 24th, 2025 for domestic abuse battery. May 12th, the Orleans District Attorney refused those charges. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and make your statement to me about your not guilty plea and tell me from your perspective what happened?
Well, our charge was dropped on the domestic abuse battery, you know what I'm saying? There was no physical contact. We just had an argument, you know what I'm saying? She called the police and I left.
Okay. I do have the body cam of the police interviewing the victim. So we can discuss that at some point. Mr. Prater, I'll turn it over to you to get any input.
Okay, we have Andrew Farley and Michael Banford, who are with the Orleans Public Defender's Office. They are together and will be speaking to us, as will Jennifer Horseshoe, if I'm saying that right, your fiance. I think I'll, if it's okay with everyone, and I'll look at a nod of heads, but I'd like to hear from Miss Jennifer Horseshoe first, and then wrap it up with the attorneys at the end, and then turn it back over to Ms. Ledoux. So, Ms. Horseshoe, would you go ahead and tell us what's on your mind?
As regarding the when the police came out?
Well, just tell us, try to convince us as a board that we should not revoke his parole. Is that what you're?
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I'm trying to. I believe that Medgar has all the resources set in place now, where this time he should do very well out here. He's got a very large support system, and everybody's on board as well as he is. And as far as the domestic violence, that was the regret. That's a regret of mine. He didn't mean to do anything to me, and I regret that. And I'm trying to get him home, you know, as well as he's trying to get home, sir. So this time should be different for him. I think he's going to do well.
Why do you feel that he's going to do well this time?
Because of the support system. He's talking to him, speaking with him. You know, he's I see a lot of changes in the way he speaks and the things that he's, you know, intends to do coming out, you know. Before he didn't have the support system that he has now.
You're not afraid of it?
No, sir.
Ms. Ledoux, would you take there from here?
I would like to, I mean, I saw not only you, but also the neighbors testify to the fact that there was some violence involved. And whether you wanted to press charges or not, if violence is involved, we need to address that issue.
Yes,
So are you telling me that it did not happen, or that you regret calling the police?
It didn't happen the way that it was portrayed.
So
he
you
didn't.
lied to the police? You lied to the police, or you lied to the police?
Didn't necessarily lie. I just kind of maybe over exaggerated because I was angry, and it didn't happen. He didn't mean to do anything. I was, I guess, because I was angry, you know, I kind of jumped the gun. And
Was he drinking or on high at the time it all happened, and that made it worse?
no, ma'am, no.
Okay, I'm finished with the victim. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We'll turn it over to, if there's no more questions of her, we'll turn it over to Mr. Farley and Mr. Banford, if I'm probably saying those names wrong, but you can correct me.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Farley. I'm a paralegal at Orleans Public Defenders. Today, we're asking that Mr. Morgan not be revoked and instead be released on parole with the condition that he participates in some supportive programming. Mr. Banford will explain the specifics of that programming, but first I wanted to give some background, if that's all right.
Sure.
Our office has been working with Mr. Morgan since his arrest, and in communicating, during that time, I've been communicating with the people who know him best. I've been in communication with Ms. Bichot, his brother and sister, Reginald and Jacqueline, and one of his friends, David Blackwelder. And from speaking with Mr. Morgan and these individuals, I've come to get a sense of who he is. I think he's certainly someone who's made mistakes, but he's also, I can tell, a man who knows that he's made these mistakes, and he's a man who's determined to change. So as you know, Mr. Morgan comes before the board in part due to the arrest back in April. As has been recognized, there was a complaint from his fiancée, Ms. Bichot, and she has come to regret making that complaint. She regretted it so much where she reached out to the DA and helped. She's been working to get Mr. Morgan back home, and ultimately, through her outreach to the DA's office, the DA refused the charges. As she noted, and we'll get to in a bit, Mr. Morgan has changed quite a bit. He has this large support system, and I think her exact quote was, "I think he will do well." With respect to the parole violations, Mr. Morgan admits that he hasn't been in perfect compliance. But based on our work with Mr. Morgan, it's become clear that the major contributors to this gap in compliance has been a years-long struggle with substance abuse and sort of financial precarity. Mr. Banford has coordinated a series of services to ensure that Mr. Morgan has the tools and resources to help navigate these circumstances should he face them again. But with the rest of my time, I was hoping to highlight how Mr. Morgan has spent his time in jail. The first thing is he's taken advantage of the fairly limited resources in Parish Jail and has been attending Addicted to the Lifestyle classes. He told me yesterday that from those classes, he's learned about the cycle of recidivism and how to avoid getting swept back in. He's also, as I understand it, received several certificates from completion of classes. But also notably, Mr. Morgan has been working in the jail for the last few months, and I've been in communication with his supervisor there, a Lieutenant Glenn Powell of the Sheriff's Office. And Lieutenant Powell said that Mr. Morgan has been an absolute pleasure to work with. He's really emphasized that Mr. Morgan has this tremendous work ethic and has noted this eagerness to learn. And so based off of what I've learned from Mr. Morgan, I do really believe that he's ready to make these hard changes and get his life back on track. And I think the core of this is that this time is different. In the past, when he was last on parole, he didn't have a party to coordinate these resources. He didn't have this training that he's done in jail. But this time, should he be released back on parole, and even if the legal matters conclude, the Orleans Public Defender's Office won't end our relationship with him, we'll continue to support him. And so ultimately, we're urging the board not to revoke Mr. Morgan, and I will turn it over to Michael, who will explain the specifics of that plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great morning, Mr. Prater, Mr. Tillis, and Ms. Ledoux. My name is Michael Banford. I'm a client advocate here at Orleans Public Defender's Office. MEDGAR Morgan is the man we're talking about this morning, an individual I had quite some time to get to know, to mess with, to help him to grow and to develop into an individual he wants to become. And one of the things that I dealt with Morgan with, I told him, I said, we can do a lot of things if you just tell me the truth about things. If you lie to me, I can't help you. There's no one that can help you if you lie. And he began to open up to me. And one of the things that it was actually dealing with the drug thing. And that really hindered him in many places. And not having a support system, someone he can talk to, someone he can lean on, someone who will show him a better way, kept him diving and delving within it. So I told him, I said, okay, this is what we're going to do for you. I set up a plan to have him to go into LARC. And after he participates in LARC, then he will come to CATLE, which is a service within our building. And I told him that I would attend CATLE with him because I want to see him grow and to develop. Even though he's much older than I am, I still believe he has that ability to grow because he wants to change. Should the board find that our plan put together would work for him and release him, I will work tirelessly and effortlessly with MEDGAR to ensure his growth and development. And not only that, I also spoke with him and asked him about a TWIC card. And he said he wouldn't mind getting it. And Officer Glenn Powell, which is lieutenant over in Orleans Public Defenders, told him, hey, over at Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office, told him, I will pay for it for you. And I told Morgan, I said, should the board give you grace, then once you're released, I will bring you personally to the TWIC card office. And we know once you go there, because you have a past conviction or whatnot, they will deny you. And also told them when they deny you, I will do your waiver process to make sure that you get this card to help you change your life. He knows and understands the things that he's done and how he's hindered himself. And he wants to correct those things. And one thing I told him, and I'll be stopping shortly, I asked Morgan, I said, you battled these things all of your life. I want to know one thing. I said, have you ever played baseball? He said, well, no. I said, do you know about the game of baseball? He said, yeah. I said, okay, if I'm a pitcher and you're at the plate,
You have a bat in your hand, and I throw the ball to you. What's the only way you can hit the ball? He said, I have to swing the bat. And I said, well, Morgan, you have to swing the bat every day of your life to succeed. It doesn't matter if you get a strike. It doesn't matter if you tip the ball. When you begin to do those things, you're going to get better. I said, you don't have to hit a home run. Just got to get on first base or just get you a hit. And I told him you have to wake up in the morning with that philosophy to say, hey, I need to swing the bat. Swing the bat, and at some point, you're going to succeed. He wants to do the things that are right, and I do believe he'll be able to do it. We follow the plan that's been instituted, and I will work with him continuously should the board grant him relief today.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate those words, and we will certainly take that into consideration. Ms. Ledoux, do you have any
Yeah, well,
questions before the board asks questions?
Well, I want to ask a little bit about Mr. Morgan. When you were released, you went to a Bethel colony because as a sex offender, sometimes finding housing is difficult. But you were removed from that program due to a positive drug screen. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you have mentioned several times that you have been positive, or that you would be positive. So you have a continuing drug problem?
Yes, ma'am. I mess with it, here and there, what I'm saying? It's not, all the time, occasionally. Yeah, I was removed from Bethel Colony, what I'm saying, due to a positive drug test. I was working at the car wash, what I'm saying, cars coming in and out, what I'm saying? So I had contact with a whole bunch of stuff, guns and alcohol and drugs, being waste in the car, different things like this. So I tested positive and they removed me.
Okay. That's what I wanted to know. Those are all the questions I have. I'll be ready to vote at the appropriate time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
you. Mr. Mager.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to do about your drug problem?
Well, my attorney has a plan set in place for me, what I'm saying, outpatient drug program, what I'm saying.
No. What are you going to do? Everybody can get a plan. What are your plans?
I mean, I'm basically done with them, I know I realized that I made a mistake, what I'm saying, by not seeing my parole officer paying my fees like I should have, what I'm saying, due to the fact that I didn't have an ID and a social security card to get a full-time job, So I was working odds and ends, what I'm saying, trying to, keep food on the table, what I'm saying, a roof over my head. And I realized that I made that mistake, and I'm sorry. And if the board decides.
Okay, no. Which do you prefer? You prefer to stay in jail and avoid the drugs, or do you plan to, the young man who just spoke, says he has a plan for you, but it seems like you're not really interested, in my opinion. That I want to know if you're really interested in trying to better yourself.
Yes, sir, I am. We had talked about that plan, outpatient plan, what I'm saying? Well, he was gonna walk through that with me. So I'm more than willing to do whatever I got to do, what I'm saying, for my family, for myself, what I'm saying? And just, I just want to complete my parole with success. So now that I got the available resources, what I'm saying, available to me, what I'm saying, I'm gonna take that opportunity, what I'm saying, for my supervisor being here for me to pay for my TWIC card. So I'm more than willing, what I'm saying, to do whatever it takes, what I'm saying, to stay free.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Okay. Ms. Ledoux, any more from you? Okay, I think it's time to vote.
Yeah. Mr. Morgan, we cannot supervise someone we can't find. With the crime that you are on parole for, it's very important that we know where you are and that you are following the guidelines set forth. And so I do believe that you have a substantial substance abuse problem. And I think the best place to deal with that is within DOC custody, where we know you'll get the help that you need. So my vote today is to revoke your parole and request that you be placed in a DOC facility with a substance abuse program.
Good.
My vote's going to be to do not revoke. I would give you a chance and would hope that you would do better. But you have to decide yourself whether you want to be in jail or whether you want to be out and do better. But my vote today would be do not revoke.
Okay, thank you, sir. So it's 1-1 and you got to get 2/3 vote. It's kind of tough because you seem like a nice fellow. You got a lot of support out there. But what bothers me is that you are a sex offender that we couldn't find, that according to the videos we watched was involved in some violence and is a drug offender or a drug addict. And so you throw in the sex, I mean, when you say it real quick, it goes by and doesn't sound like much, but you're a drug offender, sex offender that we couldn't find, and you were involved in some violence while on parole because something caused you to be there. So my vote's gonna be to revoke. I think that you need to be in a facility, get some help. And so as of today at 11:15, your parole is revoked. That's the end of the hearing.
You come on, hey?
Okay, good morning. The time is 11:22. We're in Baton Rouge at the Department of Corrections headquarters. My name is Steve Prater. To my left is Chuck Tillis. On Zoom is the third board member from this morning, or committee member, Ms. Jerry Ledoux. We're here at the, like I say, at Department of Corrections headquarters. We're talking to Louisiana Transitional Center for Women, I believe is where we are now.
Yes.
And Wendy Lingoni, say your name.
Lingoni.
Linzoni, okay.
Lingoni, yeah.
Okay. Okay, Wendy, we'll leave it at Wendy, okay? And what is your, first off, what is your DOC number?
462684.
Okay, thank you. And I'd like the staff there, and we appreciate you hosting this. Who all is in the room?
Latanya Chase, facilitator. April Cootie, program director.
Okay,
And
all right.
Mr. Prater. Wendy wanted me to let you know before we got started. She's had a stroke before she came to jail. She's had a mini stroke since she's been here. So her speech is a little difficult. So it's a little slurred. So that's why.
Okay, well, I appreciate you. Thank you for telling us that. We'll take that into consideration.
Okay.
And a case today is being handled by Miss Jerry Ledoux. And Miss Ledoux, I'll turn it immediately over to you and let you handle it from here.
Ms. Lingoni, could you tell the panel why you are currently incarcerated and why we should consider an early release today?
I'm incarcerated for drugs. I believe I should be granted parole because I'm a changed woman. Now I can go into the world and be a productive citizen of society. During these 7 years, I have focused and worked on myself for the better. I'm 7 years report-free and 7 years clean and sober. I'm thankful to God for another chance at life. I'm a committed and devoted mother and grandmother to my family who need me and love me. I'm very proud of myself today, and I love Wendy again.
Okay. So you have served 7 of a 12-year sentence, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We do have some people who would like to speak on your behalf. I do have some questions. I'll go ahead and let them speak. And then I have some questions to ask. So if Janelle Lingoni wants to speak first.
Okay.
Janelle. Good afternoon. My name is Janelle Lingoni, and I am the daughter of Wendy Lingoni. Over the past several years, I've witnessed a remarkable transformation in my mother. She has taken full accountability for her past and used her time to truly rebuild herself from the inside out. She has attended many classes, she's become a mentor to other women, and most importantly, strengthened her faith. She does daily devotionals and has found peace and purpose in sobriety. Her mental health has improved tremendously, and our relationship has grown closer than ever. I know that this experience, while painful, was also a blessing in disguise. It saved her from addiction and gave her the chance to heal. She is a walking testimony that no matter your past, redemption and change are possible. If my mother is granted parole, she will have more support than ever before. Her children and grandchildren need her home, and we are ready to provide a stable, loving environment for her, especially my sister Jennifer, who she'll be living with. She's much older now with a new sense of gratitude for life and for family, and I truly believe she deserves a chance to live out this next chapter surrounded by the people who love her the most. I'll be graduating from nursing school this December, and it is my greatest hope that my mom can be there to share that moment with me, not just as my mother, but as a woman who overcame so much and inspired me to keep going no matter how hard life gets. Thank you for taking this time to listen and for considering my mother's release.
Thank you. Jennifer, if you'd like to make your statement.
Yes, I'm Jennifer, her oldest daughter. Just start off saying my mother's always been a loving and supportive mother to us on her own. She took care of us. She's always been non-confrontational, non-violent. She has a past and she's been sober for the past several years. And I've seen incredible strength and growth and even knowledge and wisdom through her time in there. My sister, daughter, and I are committed to supporting her in every way. I know my mom is ready to come home a changed woman and will make the most of the time she does have with us. Her age and her health do worry me. She's had a rough past and knows her sobriety is number one. She is coming home to all positive influences. As we lost my stepfather, he passed away. And although that was a sad time, him battling cancer, I know my mom will be in a safe and stress-free environment and has her girls by her side as sober people living righteous lives. My sister is graduating as an RN in December. I have a great career with Humana. My fiance works as a manager for FedEx. We plan to support her fully and show her a good life. We are also Christians, living a godly life. We serve at the Church of the King every other weekend and are involved in the community when volunteering. I know my mother will be able to help others and give her testimony, and I plan to introduce her to the recovery leader at my church. My mom's past was bad, painful memories, traumatizing. She was rescued and saved at a time that was needed, but I know she'll never go back to that life again. And I respectfully ask that you give her the chance to come home, continue the new chapter of her life with her family, her new grandbaby, my daughter who's 2, she never met. And we want to fully support her.
Thank you. I appreciate both of your support of your mom. Wendy, you're a 4th felony offender, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. How long totally have you spent in prison? 7 years this time, but how long before?
Oh, a year and 9 months.
Okay. So this is the longest you've been in. So you were a user as well as a dealer?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mostly addict, mostly addict.
Mostly an addict. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, program director, I failed to get your name. I'd like to know, I see, how long has she been at your facility?
She's been with us since 2019.
Okay. Helping women recover, is this an approved DOC substance abuse?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how many phases are in that program?
She took the short one. Yeah. She took the short program. It was I think it was a 90-day program then.
Okay. Pre-release. Has she taken pre-release? Okay, that is required for release. Ms. Lingoni, you're very fortunate to have not ruined all of the relationships from your past and have people willing to support you. However, I'm real concerned about these programs. I do not believe that a 90-day program, even though you've been in for 7 years, provides the necessary tools for you to re-enter. There are some stronger programs, I think, that are available, and I'm sure they're available at that facility. With that being said, I will provide some time for my colleagues to ask any questions they may have.
Okay.
Mr. Tillis?
What did you learn out of that 90-day course that you took? What did you get out of it?
I learned a lot about drugs. I learned that I admitted to myself that I was, I admitted I was, I'm nervous, oh God. I was powerless over my addiction and my compulsive behavior. My life was unmanageable. I can't even believe a power greater than myself could restore me sanity. I made a decision to turn my will and life over to the power of God. And I felt like the last time I was arrested, I was rescued from the mess I was in. I was ready to say goodbye to my past and move forward, staying positive and mindful of my everyday living.
How many times have you been on parole?
One other time.
And you didn't have any problems after that?
No, sir, no problem. I finished completely.
I saw that. Okay, I have no more questions.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Ms. Ledoux, would you vote for us? I think that is what it's time for.
I'd like to ask the program director another question, please. Ma'am, how long is Living in Balance? How long does it take to complete that program?
18 weeks.
18 weeks? Okay.
Each phase is 9 weeks.
Okay. So, based on the fact that there is a need to complete some additional programming, my vote today would be a conditional grant that Ms. Lingoni must complete a pre-release program as well as Living in Balance, both phases 1 and 2, prior to release that satisfies the law requirement for release. And Ms. Lingoni, conditions of parole, I'm going to require that you either attend a Celebrate Recovery or an AANA meeting at least once a week for at least 6 months. I know that sounds like a lot, but I think that that's what you need to do. And have elevated drug screens.
Okay.
That is my vote. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that, Mr.
Yeah, I also concur with Ms. Ledoux. I think you need some more programming, and I'm glad you're on the right road and you have a good support group with your family, and I hope you do this time so that you can be with your family.
Thank you.
Okay, my vote is the same, and I concur with Ms. Ledoux on the conditions and the granting of your parole. So as of this morning at 11:34, providing you complete all the conditions that are required, your parole has been granted.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hearings, and we'll be signing off for today. I believe that's all we have at the there at the Louisiana Transitional Center for Women, and all for today. So 11:34, we're out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, do you